responsibility. One other way to describe Dominique would be to say that she is a prosecutor's prosecutor. She thinks like an attorney, and it seems to come naturally to her. I don't know if she got that just from going to law school. Are you trying to hide behind me there? A lot of us train and try really hard to think like that, but few of us ever really achieve the ability to analyze an issue from every possible angle. But Dominique can do that. She has the natural ability to see 3 or 4 steps down the road when most of us can only see what's right in front of us. She is lightning quick to come up with things and ways to handle cases that would never occur to the rest of us. But perhaps more importantly, she cares deeply about each case she handles. She never stops working. Her mind is never far from her cases, and she's always thinking about what she can do next to better prepare and handle the case. When the day's ended, it's not unusual for me to get a text from her in the evening about something she was thinking about in a case. She carries a caseload that for the average attorney would be crushing, and she's really happy when she has lots to do. She's happy. I was one of the first things I was amazed at when I became county attorney was she never stops working. She just doesn't take breaks. She's always going. And she tells me that she gets that trait from her father, but she really sets the bar high when it comes to being able to work hard. In short, Dominique has earned the respect and admiration of our local judges, our local attorneys, and our local law enforcement agencies, who she spends a lot of time working with and training. But she never seeks the limelight, nor does she seek to draw attention to herself, and she's always overly modest about her abilities and what she has accomplished. Those of us who know her best know that she is a true friend, but beyond that, she is an inspiration to us, and especially to those of us in the office, to become the best that we can become. Because in our eyes, Dominique achieves this every day. She is the best. She does the best she can and gives every day everything she's got. And she's an inspiration to me and to everyone in our office. So, Dominique, we are lucky to have you here in Carbon County, and you certainly deserve to be Employee of the Month. Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
I'm okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dominique.
I will say to Dominique, she does have some challenging cases. She's very focused, very determined, and the outcome, as Christian said, is usually in her favor. So appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Item number 3 is consideration and possible approval of a business partnership with Deseret Industries. Amanda Riggs.
Hello, I'd like to take a couple of minutes and just tell you a little bit about our business partnership program. I am the development counselor here at Deseret Industries, and what we do is we help people gain employment, and we want them to be successful. We have a business partnership program where we invite associates that are currently working inside the DI store to get work training experience in the community. And I would like to just invite you to think about the idea. I would like to, you should have a couple of papers, okay? And I don't know, I'm just gonna go over the letter of agreement. And do you have that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing it says is that DCS agrees to, and that would be Development Counseling Services, says we will use the individual work training plan to guide the work training experience. I have copies of that if you would like that.
So we're good. We have copies of
Okay.
it, so we're good. Thank you.
We will pay the associates wages while they get the training, and we will continue to provide workman's comp for the associate, and we will provide training support, and we will be in regular contact with the associate and business partner. This is what the business partnership agrees to do: to use the individual work training plan to guide the work training experience, provide agreed upon meaningful work for the associate in whatever position they're in, provide ongoing training and performance feedback to the associate based on the individual work training plan and the performance of the associate. And then there's a weekly timesheet that needs to be provided and turned into us, and then comply with OSHA regarding regulations and notify the development counselor immediately of any event if their associate gets hurt, or if there's property damage or injuries, or if medical attention is needed. And then this is what the associate agrees to do. To use the individual work training plan to guide the work training experience, to work each assigned day on time, notify the business partner and development counselor of any attendance issues, and perform agreed upon work up to 28 hours a week, work safely and hard, and participate in all training opportunities provided, and to be honest. The partnership usually lasts between 4 to 8 weeks, and a business partnership can end at any time. So let's say it's 2 weeks in the business partnership and the associate finds another job and they decide to take that, it can end. And if the business partnership wants to end it as well to the community training providing, that's fine too. I'm not sure if you have any questions or.
So I have a couple. As far as the placement, do you seek those out? Do you find the qualities of each individual and seek employment for them, or how does that work?
So when the associate is ready to leave the DI store, that's when we go seeking business partnerships for the people that work in the DI store. So.
And is it mainly indoor opportunities you're looking for? It would be like maintenance, truck driver, things
it
like
would be whatever position that you have open to hire. And you don't have to hire the person that's in the business partnership. So let's say you hire someone to do grounds work outside, and sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I believe we just recently hired, or interviewed, I should say, not hired,
Yes.
an employee, so our potential employee.
Yes.
And the feedback was very positive. So appreciate the service you're providing there. Any other questions?
I guess one question would be is it's kind of a little bit of an internship. Does there need to be an opening at a business where they're trying to find someone, or can it just be an 8-week assistance?
We like it to be for a position that's opened.
Okay.
So we don't want a job carve or anything like that. So
Okay, thank you.
you don't have to hire the person, but if you would like to, you're welcome to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say one thing on that.
Okay.
So after talking to Lynn, if it's something that you guys approve and we go through, we were looking to not have them, if they're just working as an internship, to not have them drive or operate county machinery. So just so you're aware of that, it would just be something else that we offer. So unless we decide to hire them, then of course they can, but just so you have that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate it.
I know just a comment in general is that this is one of the things that we have a committee, workforce and employment committee, recruiting committee that has a lot of folks from the university, from the schools, from industry that work together to try to make sure we don't leave gaps in jobs that need to be filled. And there's a lot of effort that goes into internships and things to try to help train people. So this fits in with an effort, just with all of our efforts to try to make sure those who need employment, there's opportunities for them. So good thing.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to move on then to item number 4, which is recognition of the Carbon High School mountain bike team at state. We'll ask that Coach Mark Jesperson come up.
Excuse me, did you approve the last one?
Yeah, we need to vote on that.
Sorry. I will take a motion then. Thank you, Lynn.
I'd make the motion that we approve the business partnership with Deseret Industries.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Again, thank you, Amanda. Okay, now we'll have Mark Jesperson come up. I was so excited about this, I guess. It is one thing that we're trying to address, and it took us a little bit of time to get this worked out.
Yes.
There's snow on the ground now, which you guys aren't mountain biking this time of year.
Most of us are not.
Yeah.
There are some that do.
But we want to draw attention to the positive things, especially with the youth that are happening. So if you could maybe tell us a little bit about how the season went.
This is our 7th season, believe it or not, as a team. Our first year we had 3 kids, and this year we had 27. So the team's grown quite a bit, and they range from 7th grade to 12th grade, boys and girls, and from any school. It can be Pinnacle, Helpers, Sally Morrow, or not Sally Morrow, any school from 7 to 12. And so it's been a fun year. There's a lot of excitement with our team, and we have a lot of respect around the state with our team. The kids compete hard, and they're well behaved for the most part, as teenagers can be. So, we're pretty excited, and we love hosting a race or two here in Carbon County every year. And as the director of the team, I appreciate what the county has done in their efforts to help with that venue site, along with many others. But the county has also been a big help. So thank you for that. They will continue to come here because they do love coming here. So whatever we can do as a group and a community to keep them coming, I think everyone sees the economic impact that race venue has every weekend. So thank you for that. Back to our team, these 27 kids, it's similar to cross country and swimming in that it's an individual sport, but we get team accumulated points based on how the individuals do. And so we have some kids that have done really well this year, even one winning state championship in his category, Andrew Lovelace. And as a team, we were the region champs out of 6 regions. Our region, we were region champs. Had a little bit of rough go at state with some of our riders, but that's mountain biking. Bikes break down and who knows what happens, wrecks and jitters. But like I say, the state, we have quite a good respect around the state with the other teams and regions. And so the kids should be proud of that. And I think our team will continue to grow as people learn about it and learn how much fun riding bikes is. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, the economic impact is felt. I mean, it's like a little village up there when there was a race in North Price. So
There's about 3,500 people up there.
yeah, it's
So
amazing.
it's a little village.
Amazing.
And hopefully the dust isn't too bad. So thank you for that. Thank you for recognizing these young kids. They put a lot of work into riding. One thing I want to mention that to put this in perspective is most of us have gone out and tried to run a 5K or have done something similar, played a tennis match, pickleball match, whatever. And you put a small amount of effort in for a short period of time. 5K, maybe 20, 30 minutes you're running, and you run 3 miles. These kids ride their bikes up to 25 miles in a full sprint the whole time. Their endurance is amazing, and it's very challenging. I can't do that. But it's really impressive, the effort that they put into the craft of cycling. And I think most of them just really love it. Hopefully practice doesn't bog them down too much.
Well, I'm sure they enjoy it.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I think you have.
Yeah, I do
Something
have
there.
some certificates that
Awesome.
the HR department made up, and I would like to give a little bit of attention to Andrew Lovelace. He basically was the state champion for the junior varsity B category.
So he's our 4th state champion in that category.
That's
So I think that's our category. Like, this is the one we always win state in. And so, yeah, he was our state champion this year. So that's
Yeah.
pretty
Can
awesome.
you speak a little bit to the classifications?
The classifications are based on skill level, pretty much. Within JV, there's 5, A, B, C, D, E. And so it's based on your skill level and speed, basically. JVB's a fairly aggressive category. They did 2 laps, which is roughly 10 to 12 miles in full sprint.
And those aren't flat road miles.
No, they're usually 500 to 700 elevation foot change. So our course that we have out here is a little over 400 feet of elevation change. So
Wow.
it's
And it may not sound like a lot to folks, but try to pedal that.
you try to go up that hill. I'll let you take the e-bike.
Yeah.
It's not as hard.
Right.
So yeah, Andrew's here. So we have quite a few of our team
he?
here today. So
Well, maybe we want to give this to Andrew and let him get a picture with his coach. How's that? Andrew, can you come up here?
yeah, he's even got his state jersey on. He'd probably wear it every day if he could, but. Oh yeah, this is the medal.
I'm not quite sure that's big enough.
And just another little note, I mean, we have a handful of coaches that help out too. It takes a lot of effort from adults. We have some good support with some assistant coaches basically that help us out. I don't know if we talked about that, but they're all in here too, so. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys. Congratulations to all of you.
Yes, congratulations.
Okay, item number 5 is the Castle Country Classic Livestock Show. You would, just for the record, just state your name or names.
So my name's Derry Thatcher, and we are here representing the Castle Country Classic Livestock Show. So as a reminder, this is a jackpot show for only Carbon and Emery County kids. We are not sanctioned with 4-H or FFA, and we are not funded by any other source other than our sponsors. This will be our 3rd year putting on the show, as each year we have seen growth and improvement in everyone.
My name is Aston Payne. Last year, our show was a huge success, with 106 local youth participating. Those 106 kids brought 135 animals to be shown, all from Carbon and Emery counties. We are currently looking for sponsors for our 2023 show.
My name is Deacon Westover. Last year we added a Pee Wee show and gave the younger kids a chance to show. It was a great success and we had a great turnout. We are super excited to do it this again.
My name is Ava Coslin. I showed pigs, lambs, and goats at the Pee Wee show last year. I won my first belt buckle showing goats.
My name is Daisy Thatcher, and so last year the show was able, our committee was able to give everybody a t-shirt and a buckle, or a t-shirt and a hat who participated, and we had 49 buckles that they could have competed for and won, and we had 9 buckles for the Pee Wee show, and many of the contestants won their first buckles this year, and it was really cool and exciting for them.
My name is Walker Hyatt. I show lambs and goats. We appreciate any amount that you're able to donate for this show this year. Without donations, the show doesn't happen, and each year this show continues to grow. Thank you for considering our request.
So my name's Derry Thatcher, and I'm just going to read a little poem for you guys. So whatever you do, do not let your kids join 4-H and show animals. Your summer will be spent in the barn. You will have to spend your time together and learn to help each other. You'll have to learn and grow together. The whole family will learn patience. You'll sweat, work hard, possibly yell, and overcome it all together. There will be no time for movies, Netflix, TVs, or tablets. You will instead have to spend time talking to each other, facing fears, and working through problems like building confidence, bracing a lamb, clipping a calf, and managing a budget and learning about nutrition. At the end of the summer, you'll be so nervous watching your kids show their project. They will learn how to control their nerves. They will learn how to control their nerves in hard situations, and so will you. They will learn how to win humbly and lose graciously. Your kids will make new friends and learn skills to last them a lifetime. In the end, you'll probably be sad, and all the hard work you've done all summer is over. Projects are done, gone to the market, you might even cry together. Maybe because you'll miss the animals, or maybe because you'll miss the time you spent together, late nights in the barn. It might even be because you are beyond proud of what you have accomplished this year. You only get 10 of these summers together in 4-H. Don't waste them. And do you guys have any questions for us?
Appreciate you all coming up here. You did a wonderful job. Hopefully you'll continue with the livestock and taking care of the animals as you should. So any comments or questions?
I attended last year's event and you did a real good job. It was a fun day. So
Great job.
Thank you.
and I can't remember what we donated last year.
I don't.
Seth, do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Tell you what, we have your information. We'll decide how much we can help support, and we'll let you know. How's that?
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
We could even do a motion. I'd make the motion that we match what we did last year.
I can second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is review and possible approval of the first cycle of rural county grant funding. Shanny?
Yes, thank you. So just a little bit of background. Over the last few years, the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity has given the county some money to help fund projects within the county. So we're very fortunate to receive that funding, that grant funding from the state, to allow people within our community to apply for those types of funding. This year, the Economic Development Board, they did things a little bit different. I say we because I'm involved, but I'm not a voting member. But they did things a little bit different this year. They developed a rubric to help decide, because we had 15 people apply, 15 companies apply for this funding, whereas in the past we've had, I think the first year we had 4 or 5, and then the second year we had around 9. So we were very excited about that, and the ask was about $400,000, and we have $200,000 to fund. So to say that making these decisions was easy is not true. It was actually very hard for the board to make these decisions and decide who they wanted to fund. So they also broke it up into 3 cycles, allowing companies and businesses to apply every couple months. Because in years past, what's happened is they've applied and then typically don't hear back for 3 or 4 months. So we wanted to get the word out early, and we wanted to get the information to the companies out early, whether or not they received some funding. So the board put aside for the 3 cycles about 33% of the funding. So this first cycle, we awarded 8 different applicants, and those applicants fell into a specific criteria. They were very high in the ranking, and that criteria is really focused on economic development, business expansion and development, and I know I already said that. Oh, employment. So that was a huge criteria, and long-term benefits to the county. So those were some of the things that they really focused on. All 8 applicants that are receiving funding fell into, those different criterias, but they also are only receiving a small amount this time around. The good news is, and I've had conversations with everyone who applied, they will also be able to go into the next cycle. So we'll talk about them again in the future, and then the third cycle as well. So there is the possibility of each of these companies receiving more funding, and even some that ranked a little bit lower, those will also fall into the next cycle. So of the 8, we awarded Flawless Sheeting, $6,000. We awarded Ori Designs, $10,000. We awarded Helper Brewing, $15,000. Awarded Tram Electric, $15,000. Intermark Steel got $5,000. Merit 3D got $4,000. EXT USA, they're a new bike shop that will be in Helper, got $7,000, and Apple Country Crafts got almost their full ask, which is $4,000. So they won't continue into the next cycle. That was $66,000 that we awarded this first time around. And everyone I talked to were super excited that they were given a little bit, and I'm grateful that they will be considered for funding in the future. So I don't know if Larry wants to add anything to, he's on the board. And
A little history, maybe the board is made up from one representative from one of the cities, which is Lane Miller as a city councilman. We have someone from the education side, which is Zach Kanakis. The rules were set by the governor's office on, we had to reach out to 4 appointments. And John Richens is from the public. And then who am I leaving out?
Leaf
Nelson, who needed to come from a business or an industry. And then, of course, one of us had to sit on that board as well. So over the past 2 years, has it been 2 or 3? 2 probably.
this is the 3rd year.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so the first 2 years, the money that was distributed to businesses was instrumental in expansion of, I can't remember how many, it's like 15 businesses, and there were 85 jobs created that has put a lot of people to work. So the program is super. And prior to 2 years ago, we had to, the businesses locally here had to apply to the governor's office for those funds, and they've listened to our plea and decided to just send the money to the counties and split it up kind of evenly. So that's been a real blessing for us. And, so yeah, we have a really good board, very thoughtful in their process of trying to decide what to fund. And so each one of these projects are, they will have a good long-term effect on the tax base and also employment. So those are the 2 things that the board hangs pretty heavy on, making decisions of where that money should go.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Helper Brewing, they'll bring in 6 to 8 new employees. Tram Electric will bring in 6, they mentioned. Merit 3D will bring in 2 new employees. And even Apple Country Crafts will bring in 1. So again, I mean, it's making a huge, impact to our community. So this is a great opportunity.
So Apple Country Crafts, if you like ice cream, this is for an ice cream parlor in their store.
So.
Yeah.
So not to put you on the spot too much, but the money that was given out to these companies, did they list some of the items, was it like materials or equipment they were going to buy? Not to list every one, but could you give us like an example?
Yeah,
Maybe
you bet.
a couple?
So I wrote that down. Yes, thanks for asking. Flawless Sheeting will purchase a new CNC machine. Okay. So there's one. Let's see. Ori Designs, they are purchasing an existing building out on Ridge Road, and they want to make an expansion so they can sell furniture. Let's see, Helper Brewery, really just equipment, all their equipment to start up their restaurant. And just a couple more, Tram Electric digital measuring machine. Merit 3D wants an industrial paint spray machine to help speed up their process. And then Apple Country, like you said, will be a Italian soda ice cream.
And one of the requirements that we've established is that if, for instance, if we give $10,000 to one of these companies, they have to have spent $20,000 on the project and then bring receipts in to show that they spent 20 in order for us to match half.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. I was going to mention that. Thank you. Yes.
And in all of these cases, though, we're way short of the 50-50 match with what we're giving them. But they've all committed to move forward, whether they get the full amount or not. So that was encouraging.
Yes.
Good. But they have to do the work first or buy the equipment before they get the money.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay.
No questions. So I think what we need to do is approve what the board has recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve the first round of the rural county grant funding.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Shanny. Item number 7 is a public hearing for the input regarding the mental health and substance use disorder treatment needs in Carbon County. Melissa Huntington, Executive Director of the Four Corners Community Behavioral Health.
Good evening, commissioners and citizens. Four Corners, my name is Melissa Huntington. I'm the Executive Director for Four Corners, and part of our responsibilities as a local authority in this area is to come to a commission meeting and receive public comment for the services that anyone may have received from us. So that's why we're here today. And just to tell you a little bit about Four Corners, we provide outpatient services for mental health and substance use disorder treatment. We provide crisis services for the county 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we help individuals get to more intensive settings if necessary. We provide housing for clients and much, much more. So we work with a lot of community partners, and we employ a lot of individuals that live in this county, and we are just really grateful to be here and serve the community members of Carbon County.
That's great. And kind of the purpose of the public hearing is just feedback.
Yeah, feedback if anyone wants to give any feedback, and we really do take that into consideration, and we try to remedy any concerns that people have, or we're always really grateful for the positive comments that people make, but yeah, just receive feedback from us.
Okay.
No questions.
Hearing?
I'll make a motion. We go into public hearing for the mental health and substance abuse and disorder treatment needs for Carbon County, 506.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are now in a public hearing. If anybody would like to come to the podium and speak, please come up, state your name.
Can I bring this to you?
Sure.
Yeah, just state your name for the record if you would.
Rusty Ambrose. I came and spoke for these guys last year, and one of the things I really hit on was what a game changer they've been. And I talked about some of the things in my personal growth, but I think this year I'll talk about the services that they've been willing to provide for me. The growth continues, man. I'm blossoming, and it's all due to the staff. My therapist, who's went so far as to even give me her personal phone number, to where if I'm facing a moment of adversity, I can call and she'll help me process it. The services are outstanding. Anytime that I need to be seen, I can call at the drop of a dime. And it's not just my therapist, it's other therapists. Michelle's another one that I've had the pleasure of dealing with. The services are outstanding. They really are. And they've really helped me become a better person and be comfortable in my own skin, which has had a bigger part in the person I am today. Because now I'm so comfortable in my skin that I'm willing to network. As you guys know, I've been in to see you guys recently about a place to hold a thing for my community service project. Miranda's helped me reach out to Jeff about radio announcements for it. The services are just outstanding, and they've really helped me become a better person. And like I said, be comfortable in my own skin. And that's a big deal for someone in recovery, because the first year that you're in recovery, you're not so comfortable. So today I can say that I'm comfortable due to their services and them being willing to work with me. And that boils down to, obviously I have to put in the effort, but the effort that they put in too, for something like that it's outstanding, because it's not something that they have to do, they choose to do it. So, big thanks to them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Salas. I just wanted to come and talk just like Rusty did. I come from a long, my family of drug abusers, and nobody in my family has been able to kick it. My first 3 years on drug court, I couldn't stay out of jail for more than a month. Nobody knew what to do with me. My family, they wouldn't give up on me, but they didn't know what the answers were. So Miranda came to see me at the jail, and she just seen how bad I was. And they came up with one option. One option was to terminate me and send me to prison, or give me a chance into the Odyssey House. And no one wants to go to prison, by no means, but I have kids out there, and just sitting down there and talking with them and understanding that this chance to go to Odyssey House would be a life changer if I was willing to put my all into it and take it for everything I could. I spent a whole year in the Odyssey House, and ever since I came out, I knew it was gonna be a struggle coming back to Carbon County, just being around old friends and acquaintances. But Miranda and them, they, Four Corners, the drug court, they really helped me with developing a plan before I even came back here. Just on what classes would be more beneficial to me, what different things that they can help me help provide me with if I get a job. They can help me get whatever tools or whatever materials I need to be successful in my job and to be able to just be accomplished. And through that, they've stuck by my side. They let me know that even after I complete drug court, that there's always a place to go when I'm struggling and a person to talk to. And I think that's really been a change for me that a lot of my family members didn't have. But I do appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Crystal Noyes. I actually spoke to you guys a couple years ago. And a couple years ago, I was just starting out in the drug court program and the Four Corners program and everything like that. And Four Corners is essential, in my opinion, to like the drug court program, because I think it's instrumental in dealing with addiction, is also dealing with the mental health side of it. Like, nobody has an addiction just for the fun of it. Like, there's an underlying problem. And Four Corners is amazing at helping you figure out what that problem is and addressing it. And not only are they willing to help you in those ways, but Four Corners helped me find housing when I didn't have one. They helped me fix my car when it wouldn't run so I could get to work. Four Corners has done some amazing things for a lot of us. And so I think that they get a bad rap sometimes for some of their like not so successful moments, but every program has its issues. But they change lives every single day. Like 3 years ago, I was a drug addict in jail, in and out of jail with no roof over my head and nothing going for me. And now I have a full-time job. I'm the assistant general manager of one of the biggest hotels in Carbon County. And they really care and they really want to help us. And one of the biggest concerns we had 2 years ago is that once we finished drug court, that there was no aftercare program. Well, I'm happy to say that we are actually all working on an alumni program to help drug court participants or the family drug court or felony to, when they finish with drug court, they don't feel like that they're just kicked out with nobody to help them, like that there are other options and there's still people willing to help them and listen to them when they're struggling. And so I think any help that Four Corners can get would be appreciated because they do so much for this community, whether it's behind the scenes or out where people get to see it. Like, most people don't understand half the work that Four Corners actually does in this community. And it's a huge help. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak?
I will.
Okay.
So one of the best parts of being a commissioner for me has been serving on the board of directors for Four Corners and also for the health department. The three of us are charged by the state of Utah with the responsibility of the health and safety and welfare of the citizens of the county. And so Four Corners fills a big part of that responsibility in the mental health part, and the health department takes care of another side of it. But the board that serves, I've rarely been around 9 to 10 people that have a passion for trying to help. And we've come to realize that the folks who work at Four Corners, in many cases, are there because something happened in their life and they want to give back. And so they go to work for Four Corners at a reduced paycheck and do some difficult things to try to help people. And it's because of the passion that they have. So I've really grown to love them and the work they do. And occasionally they get a bad rap because many times mental health issues are not fixable, and families can get pretty upset if they're not able to fix them and help. So, but all in all, they really provide some very, very important help in our community for some of the most vulnerable of our population. So, thank you.
Thank you for that. Anybody else? Nobody else like to speak? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're out of public hearing. Thank you for appreciate that.
Can we jump to item 12 while they're all sitting here?
Sure. Item 12 we'll move to is consideration and possible approval of dispersing opioid litigation funds. Commissioner Jensen, would you like to speak to that?
I can tell you a little bit. So there's been a lawsuit filed against the manufacturers of opioid drugs by most every city and county in the nation. And there's been a settlement in regards to that, and each of the different drug makers and some distributors have agreed to pay some very large amounts of money to counties, states, cities across the country. And so Carbon County was designated as one of the recipients of the money that would come to our population. We got a little bit smaller, higher percentage than some areas because Carbon County was the poster child of the lawsuit. And we thought we should get more than a little bit more. But we have received notification that in 2022, we were supposed to receive, I don't have the exact number, it was over $400,000 as an initial amount that would be paid to the county. And then year 2, it would drop down much lower than that. I think it was around $290,000. I apologize. I tried to gather this up before I came in, but ran out of time. But to date, we received 2 payments in November and 1 payment in January. That total $335,172. And the reason it's on the agenda tonight is that as a county, there's no way we can spend money as a county for the services that really this money needs to go towards. And so we've met with Four Corners and also the health department. We've had discussions with Carbon Medical and also the Heart Coalition. And so tonight we just need to make a final decision on how to disperse those funds. And I don't know, anything to add before I make a recommendation? So what I would like to propose is to, out of the $335,172, hold back $20,000 as some money that can be adjustable to the health department or Four Corners as we move forward, and then distribute the remaining money, which would be $315,000, 60% to Four Corners for treatment and the intake facility that you're working on that would allow for folks who are in trouble to go to that crisis center and not have to go to the hospital or go to jail. So we're one of 4 in the state, I think, of a receiving center. The state's given some money there, but that will take some ongoing help. And then to send the remaining 40% to the health department for education. So those are the 3 components that it appears fits nicely within the guidelines of the lawsuit and the agreement with the drug companies in what they wanted it to go towards. And so, and along with that motion, I'd also like to just authorize our staff, the Seth and Kay, the Treasurer's Office, to, when those checks come, to just distribute those automatically. So you get the money as soon as we do. So we have no idea. We get checks from all of them. So that's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Quick breakdown of the numbers. About 315,000 would be left over without the holdback. That would be approximately 189,000 for Four Corners and 126,000 for the health department.
And both have plans to use it, and the idea would be is that we'll circle back occasionally and see how things are going, and this will be a moving target. Whatever works, those funds will continue to be used, and if they have to be shifted one way or another to make the most out of it, we'll do that.
Sorry, I think it'd be wise too to explain that the settlement dollars were, we were kind of guided to say that all of those dollars have to go back to opioid recovery and help. It can't be just, it's not offered to just be spent on any particular item at the Four Corners Health Department or other areas.
And I was just going to add along that same line that this money cannot be supplant money. We can't reduce their budgets, either the health department or Four Corners. This has to be additional money for additional programming or additional services. So it's a good thing.
That's a good point. Yep. Okay, so.
That one, yep.
Okay. We'll go back to item number 8 now, which is consideration and possible approval of request for the Carbon County to allow Conoco Phillips to assign contracts to Urban Fund 4 and Urban D1 LP. Would like to take this one.
I can take it if you're okay with that.
Sure.
As I've talked with Barry, Conoco Phillips used to lease out some space on one of our towers that was in communication with their wells out in the Conoco Phillips gas field. They no longer use that communication system to speak to their wells, to communicate their data and their information. And so they're willing to give up their lease to these other companies. I've talked to Barry. He's in favor of this. He doesn't see any problems with it. We get a little bit of money for the rack space and the tower space that they have their communication devices. I believe these two companies are going to do similar type processes, communicating with their wells here in Carbon County. So no questions.
So we would need to just, if approved, we just need to come up with a new contract agreement with Urban.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for Carbon County to allow Conoco Phillips to assign their contract to Urban Fund, is that 6 or 4? 4. And Urban D1 LP.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 9 is ratification of agreement between Carbon County and the Stokes Strategy for Assistance with the Legislative Rural Energy Ecosystem Grant Request.
Do you want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is an agreement with Stokes. Stokes Strategies is as it was stated, is a lobbying firm. We have a large legislative ask that Carbon County, Price City, and Emery County are asking for from the legislature. The additional money that they have this year. We've engaged Stokes Strategies, and we believe that they are our best opportunity to help us get some funding to work forward on the RUI, Rural Utah Energy Ecosystem. And basically what that is developing some, and we've talked about it in previous meetings, putting in some infrastructure to help some businesses. We talked about the inducement agreements last week with Wellington Microtech, SCS, and Blue Sky. This would be the funding, or some of the funding sources, if we receive the funding, to help get those companies here. The payment amount that we've agreed to is $50,000. We have already paid $25,000, so this is more of a ratification. I guess it does say ratification, and then the other 25 will be at the end of the legislative session.
Do we want to speak to the amount that we're asking the legislation?
Yeah, so we have two asks, one from the CIB for 14 million and one from the state for, well, actually the one, it's a combined. Carbon Emery County from the CIB are asking for $28 million, 14 for Carbon County, 14 for Emery County. And the legislative ask is for 32 million. So it's a lot of money. We're hoping we can get some of it. But we really believe that if we don't engage a lobbyist up there, we're probably not going to get anything. So hopefully we'll get enough to pay that back.
We've been lucky enough to meet with several bodies of the legislature, several subcommittees so far, and it has been seen as favorable, but that doesn't always mean anything when it comes down to push and shove at the end for the last bit of dollars. So hopefully we can tell a good enough story.
And to your point too, it seems like it has been received very well, and it has tied in with other senators and around the state and things that they're trying to push as well with rural development. So we're keep all our fingers crossed, and hopefully we get our ask at least, if not all, but half. So, well, I'll entertain a motion then on the ratification.
I'll make the motion that we approve, or that we approve the ratification of the Carbon County and Stokes strategy legislative grant. I'm not sure there. Let me read it again. Ratification of the agreement between Carbon County and Stokes Strategies.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 10 is consideration and possible approval of an agreement to provide criminal public defense representation.
Commissioners, if you're okay, I'll take this one as well. Last week or previously, we entered into agreements for the same thing with Travis Blackburn, William Melton, and Shane Clifford. My goodness. This one is with Robert Oliver. Robert Oliver is the managing director over our public defense and works with the Indigent Defense Council and manages our grant. In all his haste to get the other attorneys' contracts in, he forgot about his own. So this is just finishing up our contracts. This should be the last one.
I have no questions. Oh, Lynn, do you have
any comments? Ooh.
I'll make a motion to approve the criminal defense contract with Robert Oliver.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 11 is consideration and possible approval of method of sale for surplus property.
I'll take that. I didn't bring the number in. This is our old animal control facility at 4 Mile Hill in the industrial park. Probably 3 years ago, we did some subdividing out there and created its own lot. So this, I think it's, we've had a company leasing the building for 2 years. And we're at a point where we'd like to sell that. And so we just need to decide on a method of offering it for sale. And it needs to be offered to the public. So we have several ways we could do that, but I'm kind of leaning towards just putting it in the paper and offering it for sale through the realtors and everybody, and asking for a proposal from individuals on the amount they would offer for that property. We do have 2 appraisals that were done 3 years ago, so we have a fairly good indication from an appraiser on what the value is to work from.
I think it would be great to sell it as well. Leasing's fine. I think it's helped these folks out for a couple of years, but I think as we get more and more of these companies that are wanting to move in here, I think we should sell some of the assets and get them back in full function.
Have you found that?
Yeah, I'm looking for the parcel number right now, just so people can look it up.
Apologize.
I could tell jokes, but
it's parcel number 02-1828-0027. I don't know that I have a preference. I like the idea of going through the realtors and getting the best opportunity. I don't know that necessarily. Of course, we want to have the best price, but also somebody that's going to do something with the property, or make it into something fairly soon is the best option.
I think kind of what I was thinking would be to just advertise in the paper and for sure let all the realtors know it's available, but not go through a realtor to sell it. Just make sure that they're aware it's available.
So more of a sealed bid process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's no further discussion. You want to make a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we put up parcel 02-1828-0027, which is the Carbon County's old animal control facility at 4 Mile Hill Industrial Park, to advertise that it's available for proposals, and advertise that in the paper, and then make sure we connect with all the realtors locally.
I'll second that.
Okay, have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Go ahead.
Motion passes.
If we could go back to item 10 just for 1 minute and also approve a contract for Joseph Alamia. In addition, that would be excellent.
Yeah, in fact, that the document we have, I think, is for Joseph, but Robert Oliver signed it as well. On the last page.
Okay. So,
Just approve a contract with Joseph Alamia.
So we just need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with Joseph Alamia for criminal public defense.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Lynn. And then also going back to item number 11, Jeannie, if we could get it together and get an ad in the paper. Thank you. We did 12. Bring us to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.